What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? What's up? I'm just working on just wanted to go live real quick. I know it was late for most. God damn it, what the fuck? That's wild. I know it was late for a lot of y'all in Midwest, East Coast, but it's a Saturday night. I'm just sitting here working on my next upload, um, which I think I'm gonna upload tomorrow morning just to upload it. What's everybody up to though? In the CBD world, Diesel checked out Diesel had. Oh, you got that pink one. Yeah, the pink one was not bad. Especially the smalls. The smalls, they're literally the same flower, just smaller nugs. Sometimes when you get smalls, it'll have a different trim, like the full size nugs. Let me change this light. Sometimes when you get smalls, like you get the full size nugs and it's a hand trim. And then you get smalls, and then the smalls will be like a machine trim and it's not as good. But yeah, with Revelry though, their smalls are literally the same trim and quality and everything as the big size nugs. They're just they're just small. They're just smalls and they're cheaper. But yeah, the same flavor, same smell, all that. So roll something up, get something to drink, and come search with me. All right, what's up, y'all? Today we're gonna be checking. Um, yeah, what's good with everybody though, man? I'm just getting ready for this trip to Oregon. What's up, you two? And I'm back with another flower. So roll something up, get something to drink. That's what I got going on. Let's see. I didn't even tell nobody I was going live or anything, so the views on this might be kind of weak. I wasn't gonna be long. I was gonna be live long, but yeah, if you're watching this though, um, if you're watching this though, if there's anything from the past Oregon Hemp Heaven series, season one and season two, like when I went to when I go and tour the farms and everything, if there's anything that I don't show or I don't ask or you would just like to see or something in this season, let me know. I think I go very in depth with it. And I think that when I go out the farms, they kind of know what to expect. And the first season was kind of like iffy, and I kind of had to have like questions written down and stuff. But I think by the second season, everybody kind of knew what was going on. And so the farmers themselves are, you know, they're ready with a lot of information. But just in case there's anything else that you want me to ask or show, if possible, let me know. Yeah, Bozo. Go watch the Oregon Hemp Heaven season one and two. It's on my channel. It's not a new series. This is gonna be the third year we do it. This is gonna be season three that I go to Oregon. Um, So go check that out. Go check that out. We'll be going to two new farms this year. The first year I did it really big. The first year I went to like six six different farms. Um and we were just ripping and running, going to like two, three farm a day and all this. And so obviously if you watch season two, it kind of got trimmed down and we kind of consolidated the time and put time into um spent more time, good time on less farms. And that's again what we're going to do this season as well. So, I'm not going to go to as many farms, but we're going to spend more time at each farm and um, put more time into the production and all of that. All right. Oh, okay. Yes, yes. Season three of Oregon Hemp Heaven will be filming next week. Well, this week coming up. This week coming up. Um, it's a big, it's a big, it's a big deal. It's a big deal because I mean, for multiple reasons. For multiple reasons. A, it's a large expense. Um, just traveling, hotels, flights, food, getting everything together. It's a big expense. It's a time commitment because I'm a very active father. And so when I'm gone for these days, obviously I'm not taking my kids with me or anything. And so their mom has to take on everything, which is not an issue, but it's like she then has to we split time that we work. When she works, I take care of the kids. When I work, she takes care of the kids most of the time. So when I leave for stuff like this, she can't work. So, um, but trying to make it work. I actually got a sponsor for this year's trip. Um, they put a couple $100 in my pocket, which helps with the expenses a little bit. And honestly, just more than that though, I'm just really hyped that actual company and not like a regular hemp company that we all know and love or anything like that. Like this is a big company that sells cannabis gear and they sell T1 flower in dispensaries and stuff. This is a big legit company. And they sponsored they wanted to be a sponsor, a product sponsor, and a small financial donation with that. And obviously, when you watch the finished videos and everything, there's going to be, you know, um, an ad spot, but it's not going to be like a sellout thing or anything. It's something I'm actually going to use on my travel. So just imagine this along the lines of like you see these big channels and they go to some big event and they're like, "Oh yeah, sponsored by GoPro. Thanks GoPro for sending out the new Action Cam 5." And they're using it and it's actually a good product. So it's actually gonna be something that I am going to be using and would be using regardless. So I'm not a sellout. Don't worry about that. It helps. But anyways, this trip's gonna be dope, just like the other trips. And I mean, with the way that things are going in the hemp world, legally and everything, I don't know if there's gonna be a season four. A lot of these farms are questioning if they are going to be operating next year, if they're going to plant again in the spring. All over the place, but particularly in Oregon, where I go for this because the state of Oregon's changing the way that they regulate um, hemp farms and the way that they uh, enforce the laws. They're going way stricter with it. They changed it. They changed the regulatory body to the liquor commission for the state, and so they're going to be regulating the hemp space the same way they regulate liquor stores and people that sell tobacco and stuff, which doesn't sound horrible, but until you realize that ever since that's happened, um, they're going to CBD farms, and when people's crops are testing higher than 0.3% D9, they're making them burn their crops down or they bulldoze their fields. Um, and most hemp, and I'm talking about CBD flower, is not under 0.3% um, THC. Obviously, if you go look at any given hemp strain COA, most most hemp is going to be anywhere from zero point 0.4 to 0.9% THC. Um, and that's just been kind of a thing that's just been kind of accepted and allowed as long as it is a CBD dominant type 3 product. Obviously, I'm not talking about people selling THCA or people growing regular weed under the guise of it being hemp. I'm talking about actual hemp, like people growing lifter and people growing like lemon octane and stuff like that. They're going after people like that. And so, anyways, I don't know if there's going to be a season 4 of Oregon Hemp Heaven. Um, I don't know the future of hemp. If there is a season 4, it might not be Oregon Hemp Heaven. We might have to go to a different state where farms are thriving, and it's just I'm not the type to uh, get all worked up. There's some people that get real worked up when it comes to like pending legislature and bills being proposed and everything, and they're proposing bills in legislature to regulate hemp and ban hemp and do this and that literally like every month. And supposedly this new bill that's being proposed, there's some people that are really freaking out about it, but I don't freak out about it. um we just got to wait and see. But and one reason I don't freak out is not because I don't care, but if we look at least the current administration, right? The current administration, and the administration before that. So hemp and all this has been a thing since the Biden administration, and during the Biden administration is when uh, THCA became a thing. Um, there was basically no law enforcement or regulation of THCA in that administration. And then we have the current circus administration, and still basically no enforcement of the law when it comes to people selling THCA. Basically, the federal government, who would be the ones who would have to regulate THCA, because when you're selling things online from state to state, it's a federal matter. They're not doing anything about it. And so, what I think is going to come down to is if there's some sort of federal legislature or some sort of amendment or change to the farm bill, I think you're going to have people getting out of hemp out of fear, but I'm still going to have people going. And I don't think the government's going to do anything to stop them. I think the biggest threat they're going to have is state governments, state authorities. And so the days of getting, um, cheap, massive, massively grown outdoor flower and getting like 40, $50 ounces of outdoor, that might be gone, right? Because these outdoor guys, they can't operate covertly, right? That was the whole reason why people started growing weed indoors, was to hide from law enforcement, hide from the authorities, and still be able to produce cannabis up in Northern California in Humboldt County. That's literally why people started growing indoors. They started growing in trailers and using like um, high pressure sodium lights and stuff to grow cannabis indoor. Anyways, but I don't think hemp will completely go away, though. I think that there will at least be a few people out there that will be growing it indoors covertly, or finding, some way, um, growing in one state and selling out of another state. There's people. I think there's people that they're going to find a workaround. Will there be a lot of people doing that? No, I'm sure the supply will greatly go down, and so the price will probably go up. Um, but honestly, like I said, honestly though, there's just a real lack of enforcement, and I think that if people selling just straight up real weed, THCA, if the government's not doing anything about that, I don't see why they would go after people selling or growing regular CBD. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. You never know. You never know. I'm not gonna hold my tongue or hold my breath or guarantee anything good or bad. I honestly think that it's just become an accepted thing, and THCA is kind of a quasi federal legalization of marijuana. And unless a presidential administration or Congress or something directs the DEA to really stomp down on it, I don't think it's going to go anywhere, and it's just going to be this gray market legalization, kind of like in Amsterdam. Like if you go to Amsterdam, weed is not legal, mushrooms are not legal, just nobody does anything about it. And so these people sell it openly. A lot of people think if you go to Amsterdam that it's legal there. It's not legal. It's just there is zero law enforcement. And it's just become this kind of accepted gray market thing where people sell it openly because there's no legal consequences. And I have a feeling, I mean, right now that's what THCA is. Okay. And I have a feeling that it's probably gonna stay that way. And also too, it's just there's so much crazy shit going on in the world right now. You have kind of a global restructuring of morals, and we're living in crazy times. I think that we are living in the craziest times since, I say, probably World War II. I say probably World War II. After World War II, you had the Cold War and everything, but the Cold War was, from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, for the most part, everybody was thriving and living prosperously. It was just a lot of espionage and the United States government hating communism and destroying countries' economies and governments and stuff. But we're living in tumultuous times. We have this global shift of countries and powers that are changing their alliances and shifting their supports from, like, away from Israel and away from the United States. And it's just, there's obviously, look who we got in the White House. um those of y'all who are on here who are like 30 years or older, we lived through, I believe, the last few years of a normal America. All right, uh, the '90s was a last decade of a normal America. September 11th obviously changed everything, and we're not going to get into that. But regardless of what truth you choose to believe or accept or reject, 2011, September 11th, 2001, really changed everything, and global climate and political climate. I mean, anyways, those of y'all who are 30 years or older, you know what a normal life was like. And anybody who grew up younger than that, uh, you've been living in this twilight zone, where everything is kind of crazy and weird. And anyways, my whole I'm over here rambling. My whole point is though is that I just think that there is a lot of crazy shit going on in the world, and um cannabis is just not a priority. It's just not a priority. We've seen that most of the United States, the citizens, favor some sort of legalization, even if it's just for medicinal uses. And so there's no politicians, there's no agendas or anything that are gaining or losing favor or support with the issue of cannabis. And so it's not a thing. It's In today's world, if something can't be used to somebody's advantage, it just gets ignored. It gets ignored. That's why like gun rights is always going to be like this huge issue. Whether people care about guns or not, is going to be a huge issue because people can gain or lose votes depending on how they come out against or in support of gun rights or LGBT rights or climate change or anything like that. And cannabis has just really like fallen low on that list of things. I think 10 to 15 years ago, it was high up on that list, and it's not. The public perception and opinion on cannabis has just really changed. It's just kind of an accepted thing now, so it's not a controversial issue. Um, anyways, what's up to everybody that's saying hi? What's up, y'all? Let me know where you're watching from, um, what city or state. I like to know, or country, if y'all are not in the US, what city, state, or country that you are watching from. Let me just open up a little Cerveza real quick. Actually, this is a very high quality Japanese lager, but what's up, Nate? Uh yeah, no, I'm not pushing any discords at all. I know that there are, after the the discords that I ran, which was the hemp flowers discords and then the hemp heads discord, after both of those were shut down, I think the vast majority of people really got the message that Discord is not cannabis friendly, Discord is not hemp friendly. And so um that was like my third and fourth tries of trying to do that. I'm not pushing Discord no more because I'm sick of telling people, oh yeah, you were in that old Discord. Discord shut that down. Go to this new link. Go find this new link and go join that. And then like 6 months later, oh yeah, that one got shut down. Here's a new link. It's pointless getting people invested and putting time into chatting and doing all that for it all to get erased and taken down. So I'm done with that. Discord is not a cannabis, or at least it's not a hemp friendly platform. And not only that, um, Cheers, y'all. Not only that, unfortunately, the hemp space just has way too many haters in it. And I hate to use that word because it sounds really stupid and it sounds really like juvenile and childish, like, oh, haters. But I just think it's the best word for it. All right. The hemp space has too many people that would rather see certain people's or certain companies' downfalls rather than look at the big picture. And the big picture is that like everybody needs to be supported in order to uplift hemp, the hemp industry and the hemp community as a whole. But people are way too small minded. The hemp space, the hemp community is very small. Okay. So in like the greater marijuana or cannabis community, there's negative, asshole, bitter, immature people, right? But there's way more people that are good to offset that. And so you don't really see this like infighting and bickering and petty bullshit in the marijuana community. Maybe in the industry, yeah, because there's a lot of money at play. And whenever you have, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars at stake, you're gonna have people backstabbing and doing the most. But the marijuana user community is just so big that it can't have all of these issues. Whereas the hemp user community is so small. We're talking about just a few thousand people at this point, active users, that all it takes is a few dozen bad apples to ruin it for everybody. And so, with like these hemp discords and subreddits that keep getting taken down and everything, um, Instagram pages and everything. Um, I don't know how many reports it takes or whatever, but it's very clear that we can't have anything good community wise because there is a few dozen people in the community that would like to watch things burn and they ruin it for everybody because there's not enough. There's just the community is not overwhelmingly large enough to offset that. Yeah, Nate, it does suck because the discords were a, a crazy important source of information. When that first discord got deleted, it got report bombed again by these like losers, these negative Nancy's. When that one got report bombed and taken down in like, was it 2023? That one had been up since 2020, I believe. Um, so that Discord was up for 3 or 4 years and had thousands of members. It had years worth of information that you could go on that Discord server and like look up stuff and see people's reviews for like these these old companies from back in like 2019 and 2020 that don't exist no more, and these old strains. You could see people posting their hauls and their pictures of like this stuff now that is now really nostalgic. And all that information was lost. And then we started the next one, and that one lasted a year. Um, got up to, I don't know, 1,500 members or whatever. It got report bombed. Again, Discord is not hemp friendly. So once you start reporting, once you bring these servers to the attention of Discord, Discord is not hemp friendly and they ban them. Exactly. Tweedle Farms, Tokens, Starseed Botanicals, um, Plain Jane back then when they were first getting started. Uh, Fields of Hemp was really big back then. People like some of the people that like Lost Oak Farms wasn't even a thing back then. Lost Oak Farms didn't even exist back in like 2020. I think Lost Oak Farms started in what, 2022, maybe. Anyways, but it's a major loss of information. And after this third time that Discord within 2 or 3 days shut down the two biggest hemp servers, CBD flower focused servers. That was it. Why am I going to put any more time into it? I'm not. It's just it's a waste of everybody's time. It's a waste of my time setting it up, and I feel bad. I feel bad telling people to go do these things, and they get comfortable with the platform. They start using it. Um, there's some people that don't have um, uh, really great in person like social lives and stuff. And I know there's people that would go on Discord when they would get off work or have free time on the weekends and chat it up with people on there, and like that was great. That was great, and I feel bad that keeps getting lost, and I feel like I'm a very public. I'm not a representative of the hemp community, but I'm a very public member of the hemp community, and so I just a lot of I don't want to say responsibility, but a lot of the I don't know. I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for, but I feel guilty for it. I feel guilty for it, and it makes everything look bad. And I mean, it is bad. It is bad that there's so many losers, man. If you go on, it's just there's just a lot of losers. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of people who would rather watch shit burn than see shit thrive because it doesn't benefit them personally or whatever reason that they have. Um, mm, yep, Finger Lakes. Finger Lakes, was it Finger Lakes cannabis or Finger Lakes hemp? That was one of those old. That was one of those old 2020 farms. Echo said, "I just watched so many of your old videos today." That's what's up. Yeah, if you go back and watch those old videos from 2018, 2019, you will see what I'm talking about. All those farms. Uh, yeah, Nate. I like using Discord too. I trust me. Discord was a great place to talk about hemp just because it was uncensored and you could talk about what you want. You could criticize, you could post links, you could post reviews, and you don't have to worry about getting banned. Where like on Reddit, you can't. I can't go on Reddit. I don't give any kind of recommendations, like direct recommendations for strains or companies or anything anymore, because it's like a three strikes are out type of thing. Every time I do, Reddit will warn me, then they'll suspend me, and then they'll ban me for a week, and then they ban me permanently. And so I stopped because I use Reddit for other things. I'm on other subreddits. I have fish. I have aquariums and stuff, and I have other hobbies and interests. And a lot of Reddit communities, you got to have a certain amount of karma and stuff to post and comment, and it's just like I'm not gonna keep. I'm on like my eighth Reddit account already, and I'm not gonna keep wasting my time just so I could comment a few times. Like, oh yeah, Beliefer Oasis OG is what you want. Ban for a week. I just tell people to go watch my channel. Just go watch my channel. I'm sorry. They said, "Are you checking out Pilot Farms again?" You know what? I'm not sure how much I'm at liberty to say, but I'm not. I'm not going to be checking out Pilot Farms, and that is due to some rather unfortunate circumstances. And again, I'm not sure how much I can say and not say, but um, um, I don't know if we're going to see pilot farms. I just think if you heard everything I said about Oregon and the way that they're changing their enforcement and regulation, pilot farms has been a victim of that already. All right, so everything I said about that applies to pilot farms. So um, I'm not sure if, again, I'm not sure if they're even going to be planting any crops in the springtime or anything. I We might not see, as far as hemp goes. We might not see Pilot Farm anymore, which sucks. I'm wearing a Pilot Farm shirt right now, by the way. Coincidence. Um, that was a really cool farm, and those are really cool people. And I feel really bad that people like that got shafted by overregulation. Uh, it sucks. And Oregon has been, for the last 6 years, Oregon has been this. That's why the series is called Oregon Hemp Heaven, because Oregon has been like the single most state where you have all of these cannabis farms, huge cannabis farms, just thriving and making money and working together and developing genetics. Like Zoe Therapeutics is right there in Southern Oregon where all these farms are, and there's just so much going on. And Oregon literally has been a hemp heaven. Like when I fly into Medford, you can literally, once we get down low, like 1,000 feet and under, you can literally look down and start seeing cannabis farms like along the roads. And as you get down closer into the hundreds of feet and everything, you can literally see. You can make out the little Christmas tree, the little rows of Christmas tree shaped plants. It's just everywhere. And it just sucks that the state is ruining that. Echo said, "Have you ever reviewed Just Canna?" I've never heard of Just Canna. Raymond, I seen your comment earlier, bro. I hope Raymond's on here. Um, I completely forgot to respond to your comment, Raymond. Um, yeah, everything's unfortunate. Nate, no, I was talking about it earlier in this live. Basically, the state of Oregon is changing its regulatory body for how they regulate hemp farms and hemp growing. And um, before, hemp farms were regulated by um, uh, I forgot what the group was called, but it was like a hemp commission or something. It was regulated by the same office that distributes the hemp licenses. Oh, no, it was like the ODA, the Oregon Department of Agriculture, I believe, is who is currently regulating hemp up until this year, 2025. This year, it got switched over to the OLCC, which is the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission. And this commission is what regulates like liquor, tobacco, and marijuana. Their recreational and medical marijuana. Their hemp was not regulated by them. It was regulated by the Department of Agriculture, just like people that were growing corn or raising cattle. And so it was being treated as a agriculture industrial crop. However, this year they switched it over to that OLCC. So now hemp is being regulated the same way that the marijuana growers are being regulated, which is super, super, super strict. The difference is though, is that the marijuana growers are not held. uh, Um, to grow and sell weed in Oregon, obviously you get like a license for it and everything, but to sell your weed, it has to go under. It has to like pass like these tests, like standard tests, right? For like you have to get like mycotoxin and pesticide, like standard safety stuff, right? Like anybody that's growing with a license, you just have to get it. It has to pass these tests, and they have to make sure that you're growing it licensed in an approved way. You know, it can't be like within like 100 feet of an elementary standard stuff, and it's all good. There's nothing that's saying that, oh, you're growing marijuana. It can't be over 30% THC. Otherwise, we're going to come burn down your crops. Nope. But hemp, they're doing that. So not only do these hemp farmers now have to um, do all of this extra testing, which by itself is not bad, it's just very expensive, and hemp farmers don't make that much money. But they're now being held to these crazy standards of if it's hemp, it's got to be less than 0.3% THC. And like I was explaining earlier, as you know, most hemp strains are not less than 0.3% THC. And so they're going through and bulldozing and burning down people's crops, pulling people's licenses, um, and companies such as Pilot Farms can't afford to keep up with the change, and so it really sucks, and it's a stupid move from Oregon, and everybody hates it. Raymond was Man, shout out to you, Raymond. I seen your comment earlier. I felt really bad. I completely forgot to respond to you. Shout out to you though for watching the video and everything. um I'll have to check out Just Canna. I'm not sure. I might have heard of it. I might not. Have I heard of Just? Maybe I have. I'm not sure. As you know, though, most of the reputable and trustable companies, or the companies with the top shelf, I try out on my channel, or I've heard of. So we'll see. Yeah, the tobacco. The problem is, I would love to do more of the tobacco store, the smoke shop, hemps. The problem is that doesn't exist here in Southern California. You could go into like smoke shop. First of all, smoke shops aren't really a thing here anymore. They've kind of regulated that out. They're not allowed to sell um, most of the shit that smoke shops sell. So, especially here in the city of Los Angeles, it's policed heavily. If you go out to like Riverside, San Bernardino, um, you go like an hour outside of LA, you see more of that, and you could find like some Delta 8 and stuff like that. But here in the city of LA, it's nowhere to be found. There's too many dispensaries here. There's just no. If there was a demand for something like that and people could make money, it would exist. But there's pointless. It's pointless because you could just go. There's dispensaries everywhere, and anybody can go and walk into a dispensary and get shit that is like tested thoroughly, top shelf for cheap. So why would anybody go to a smoke shop to buy some THCA or some CBD flower or something? Uh yeah, R2D2, that's my notification. when I get texts and shit. What's up, Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh Pirate. Uh, yeah, believer is hot fire. I look. I fully say this, and I stand by the statement. Right now, just based on what you could go and place an order for at this exact moment. I'm not talking about 6 months ago, and I'm not talking about uh 3 months in the future. At this moment, Beliefer is the best CBD flower you can go buy. All right. The highest quality stuff. If you want the loudest, most exotic looking, that's just guaranteed. There's other good stuff, but I think just overall, Beliefer has the biggest selection and just kind of a standard of quality. Yeah, there is lots of hemp in North Carolina though. That hemp, North Carolina is like the East Coast, Oregon. Um, Neil said any strains around 2 to 4% that you know THC. Yeah, actually, Beliefer has a couple strains that are right in that percentage range. They got a couple. Matter of fact, I have two of them. One is the Galaxy. Galaxies, and the other one is the what is it? Gas. Hold on, let me see. Oh, the Galaxies, and gas muffins. Both are in that 2 to 4% THC range. Those are some type twos to answer your question. Um, remember, y'all, if you are, this live is not sponsored by Believer. All right, I don't work. I hate that I have to say this every time, but there's assholes out there. I don't work for Believer. I'm not sponsored by Believer. Okay, I have a coupon code for Believer because indoor flower can be expensive. And Believer is like, I gotta twist his arm just to get like a 7.5% coupon code. But it's there. All right. I do have a coupon code from Believer. It's just my name. So uh uh I'm smoking on Believer for months. WNC, that is a good North Carolina. Danny said, "What's my favorite Star Wars movie? Attack of the Clones is my favorite Star Wars movie. Um, the whole the whole prequel trilogy is my favorite, and then I really like um Solo. A lot of people didn't like Solo. I don't care for any of the new um Ray Skywalker movies, all them bullshits with like Ren. Well, I don't even the fucking Leia and Han Solo's son, and Ray and all that shit. Those movies are hot garbage. Okay. But as far as like the new Disney Star Wars movies, Solo is my favorite. I loved, love The Mandalorian. I love Book of Boba Fett. I love Obi-Wan. I love um there's a lot. Most of the series and shows I love, but the movies are hot garbage from Disney. But the prequel, uh, episodes 1, 2, and 3, but especially Attack of the Clones. Um, yeah, Loner Mob moved to New York. Will 2 to 4% fail a drug test? Yes, yes. If you are going home and smoking 2 to 4% THC, yeah, it'll fail after 1 or 2 times, maybe not. But if you're buying flour, type 2 flour like that and smoking it on a regular basis, yeah, those the cannabinoid markers will stay in your fat and will cause you to fail a drug test. All right, what's up, y'all? Today we're gonna be checking out Diesel Hemp. And you checked out Diesel Hemp a lot here on the channel. All right, what's up, y'all? Today we're gonna be checking out Diesel Hemp. And you checked out all right, what's up, y'all? Today we're gonna be checking out Diesel Hemp. And you checked out Diesel Hemp a lot here. All right, what's up, y'all? Today. Oh, one thing I wanted to tell y'all about though, my bad. I just got some new flour in, and I'm gonna do a video on it. I'm gonna do a video on it. But for those of y'all who are here on my live, I just got this today. I just got this flour. In fact, I haven't even had a chance to put this on Patreon yet. So if you are one of my patrons over on Patreon, which by the way, if y'all really want to support me, go join my Patreon. For my patrons over on Patreon, I am so sorry that I haven't uploaded my initial thoughts on this. All right. But for those of y'all who are on my live right now, you get exclusive access. All right. I got the new flower from Andaway Gardens. Okay. All of their indoor, besides their Mac RVR, which is a type 2. I didn't get that. All their type 3 indoor, I got it. All right. And let me just quickly tell you all about it. Okay. Because I honestly think this is hold on. Let me go look at the price. Because Andaway be basically giving away his flower, dude. And it's wild. It's wild. It's wild. Uh Let me see what he has this at. 3.5 for 17. Yeah, yeah. This is mandatory. All right, this is mandatory. This is mandatory. This is mandatory. Trust me, this shit is way beyond it's way beyond the quality does not match with the cost, and I mean that in a good way, right? It should cost more. Not all of it, but some of these strains. Okay. And the way actually canceled my coupon code, or I think he did. You could try it. I don't even remember what my coupon. Anyway, let me tell y'all what. This jelly cookies number 26 from Andaway. This is absolute dummy fire. All right. This shit is dummy fire. It smells like it almost smells like a gelato or something like that. Like just imagine like some gelato, a gelato cross, something like that. But you know, you got to kind of dumb it down a little bit for it being CBD flour, right? Most hemp flour is not going to be that crazy, but it's just got this bomb fruity gas. If you try the jelly cookies from Andaway on his last indoor batch a few months ago, that it was fire. I still have some of it. Let me see. Do I have any right here? Oh yeah, yeah. I still have a little bit of it right here. That was fire. This is better. All right, this is better than his last batch. This jelly cookies 26. This shit is fire. This legitimately is like for real. This is like it's fire. It's like a gelato or something. A little bit less gassy, but it for hemp is great. All right. That jelly cookie number 26. Um Peace, Danny. Have a good night. The Miracle RVR. some of these need new names. This one has th- this smells like cat piss and ice cream cake, like birthday cake and cat piss. All right, that's a Miracle RVR indoor type 3. The RVR cherry, I really like this one. Along with that, just this has a super fire cherry cannabis smell to it. It smells like, oh my god, it smells like candy. Okay, it has a crazy cherry candy smell to it. And because it's got that cannabis, it's got a little bit of like a burnt rubber smell to it. It almost smells like some cherry flavored cough medicine, like kids cough medicine. And this is just the regular RVR, and the RVR is Andaway's in-house strain, and it's a cross of GDP and I forgot what else. But this right here, this is better than his last RVR too. This has a real this one kind of smells like perfume and lavender mixed with like burning garbage, like burning plastic, burning tires. That RVR indoor. Um, the Peyton's lemons. This is his new thing, and he was posting a lot of pictures on this. This one didn't turn out so great. Y'all know I got to keep it 100,000%, right? The it smells like it smells like Chex Mix. All right, it has a very savory smell. It's got a very savory cannabis smell. It smells like cheese Chex Mix. All right, but the buds, I mean, it's real. Hold on, let me see. Let me get some more light. The quality of the flower is very good. It's just not the loudest, best smelling stuff. But for the price, oh my god, for the price, it is. I'm not complaining at all. This is really nice, nicely grown indoor flower. This is Andaway Gardens, Raymond. Um, Let me show you a picture again. Andaway Gardens, and their website is literally that. If y'all go cop some of this, which I recommend you do just for the price, right? This is the ultimate budget pack. And I'm not saying that because it's budget quality. I'm literally saying because the price is as budget friendly as you're going to get for indoor flowers. I think in the notes, you can put in the notes, just make sure in the notes you put Shabazz sent you. All right. Just say, I saw this on Shabaz's channel. Shabazz told me to cop this, whatever, however you want to word it. All right. Just in the notes, if you place an order, just let them know that Shabazz sent you. All right. And I'm not getting no kickbacks for it or anything. I'm just trying to help the dude out. And I want to let him know that I shouted him out. All right. And I let people know about his flower because he's not really great at the whole public interactions, marketing, and social media, and all that. So a lot of people don't even know he exists. But this is some really good indoor flower for really cheap. All right. Um, so yeah, check that out and let him know that Shabazz sent you. My favorites are the RVR Cherry, that Jelly Cookie 26, that indoor RVR, okay, look, the Miracle RVR and the indoor RVR are really good, but if I could only have two, it would be the RVR Cherry and the Jelly 26. All right. Like these are the type of strains where I'm gonna smoke every last crumb. I might chew on the stems. All right. Shout out to Yonkers. Shout out to Yonkers always. Flower Club went out of business. Identity in Christ said, "Can you describe the feeling you get when you walk through an Oregon hemp farm?" Let me tell you all this, right? Let me tell you all this. And this is something I've said frequently. When you walk through a field of cannabis plants, There is literally, and this is gonna sound corny, this is gonna sound cheesy, but there's literally like a energy, almost what I could describe as like an electricity. Like if y'all have ever gone near something that's like really high voltage, and you can just feel, I don't, you can just kind of feel like this pressure vibration. I don't know. You could feel the energy in the air, even if you're not directly interacting with it. Cannabis plants in mass, large, healthy cannabis plants in the daytime give off a palpable energy that you can feel, and it's a positive energy, and it's a cathartic. That it's like a cathartic electric energy. It's a vibe for every meaning of the word. When somebody says, "Oh, it's a vibe," it is a vibe. Okay, and it's honestly probably the single most thing I look forward to when I go to film these trips in Oregon. Um, the food's great, the drinks are good. I have fun checking out the farms, seeing their trimming process, their drying, curing, all that's great, right? But what I really love and what I look forward to is literally just walking through the fields, walking with the plants. And whenever I go, I always make sure I lose the crowd because I'm usually walking with people and they're, oh yeah, this strain and this, and at some point in time I make sure I go and kind of break away and take a few minutes in solitude in some of these rows of plants. Um because you got to trust me. It's like it does something to your spirit or something. I don't know. It really does. It's the same way people feel, walking through very lively like forests or gardens or whatever. It's just um it's an energy, and cannabis plants are very rich in that energy. Uh yeah, that's what I really look forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. Um it so let me tell y'all something, right? Last time last year when I went to Oregon, when I was there, I woke up the first morning I was there and found out that my uncle had been murdered. And this isn't some distant relative or anything. Some of y'all may remember me sharing about this. It was last October. My dad's brother, my favorite of my dad's brothers, he got murdered. And if I was any other place, because obviously I wasn't here at home, so I couldn't go be with family or anything. But that is the best place I could have possibly been other than home, because in that moment of extreme pain and sadness, I went, um, just a couple hours after finding that out at like 6 a.m. By like 9 a.m. I was walking through fields of plants, fully grown plants, and I mean, like I said, other than being with my family, there's no better place. No better place, because that energy that those plants give and the vibe, it's just so peaceful and it's so stress alleviating. Um, if that says anything about the fields and the plants and the farms. Honestly, if you're going through anything or whatever, you need some time alone or whatever. If you have access to cannabis plants, go seek that out. And to a lesser degree, if any of y'all are able to grow your own plants, because just those singular plants Once you put love and care into them and they start growing and thriving into their own thing, your own little individual plants give off some of those vibes, and they're very peaceful, they're very cathartic, and will alleviate some of your stress. Trust me. Trust me. Um, I mentioned earlier that like I've always kept fish ever since I was a teenager. I've always had fish tanks. And I recently started up again with a nice community tank. And that's another hobby of mine that's very stress relieving and very peaceful. S- Being serious about keeping fish, though, if it's an actual hobby and not just something you're doing just to do it, if it's an actual hobby, it's stressful, it's expensive, and it's very time consuming. Now, growing cannabis can also be all of those things. However, at its base layer, you can grow cannabis and it not be expensive, time consuming, or stressful. All right, Nate. Nate said he got to hop off. Like I said, yeah, it's late. If you're on the East Coast, Midwest, it's late. I appreciate you being here, Nate. Have a great Sunday. Yeah, and it's not just watching them swim around. It's when you build up a community of fish and you have different species that are in different levels of the water column, and you see how everything is interacting, and you have an ecosystem right there that you put together. It's not just the fish swimming around, it's like it's this life that you've curated, and watching that thrive and be healthy and interact and everything, uh that is very peaceful and cathartic. But like I said, getting to that point, a lot of people keep fish and everything, and like their fish die and they don't know why, and they throw tap water in a tank with a goldfish. And if you're serious about it, it's time consuming, it's expensive, and it can be very stressful, right? Because when fish get diseases and stuff, it's like it's not a plant. You can't just throw the plant away or cut a piece of it off and plant a new seed or whatever. It's like it's a whole fish. It's a whole living thing. It has a personality. You've gotten used to it. All of this, all right. Whereas growing plants, it's more forgiving, and you can grow cannabis plants at a very basic level. um if you have access to the sunlight, at least like 6 hours of direct sunlight a day, you can throw Miracle Grow soil into a pot, and you could germinate some bag seeds, and you could grow your plant to a big healthy plant that's going to give you very positive energy and vibes. That simple and that cheaply. Just water it at the most basic level. um and it's very cathartic. But yeah, nothing is like being in a field of cannabis, though. Being in a field of cannabis, um yeah. I described it as best as I possibly can. What's up, B White? Shout out to my Canadian viewers. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, interacting with the plants and everything. I just everything. Um Looking forward to getting some dope pictures of some buds and everything. Like I said, I'm gonna be visiting some new farms, and it's not new farms as in they're new companies. Everywhere I'm going, you've heard of. I'm not gonna spoil exactly who. Y'all are gonna have to wait at least until I'm there and I go live or something. But I'm going to some very familiar farms that you know of. It's just farms I've never gone to before in the series. Agro Roots. Never heard of that guy before. So that's gonna be dope. I'll put a picture up on the screen. This smells like exactly like And again, y'all, this is THC. What's up, Dante? It's got this kind of banana, orange, citrus, green. Just right. I'm working on the video. I'm gonna post tomorrow. Orange, citrus, just fresh fruits. It smells like exactly like that. It is extremely fruity. It's got this kind of banana, orange, citrus, just fresh fruit smell to it. It smells like exactly like that. Yeah. I'm gonna see every time I go out to Oregon, I try to go live when I'm actually like on farms and stuff. But you got to keep in mind it's not um we're like in these mountain valleys and stuff, and a lot of places doesn't get cell service. Over the years, it gets better because obviously they're constantly building new cell towers. Service is constantly expanding. So I this year, hopefully, service will be good enough that actually, while I'm there walking through some of these fields, I could maybe go live and take y'all with me, even if it's just for 5 minutes or something. Um, that'll be dope. Raymond said, "What's the hardest part about growing?" That greatly depends on how in depth you're trying to get what you're growing. Because, like I said, um, there's some questions. All right. There's a couple questions I gotta answer. Was okay. So at a basic level, and to get just a nice decent harvest at minimal work, you get Miracle Grow soil and whatever seed it is that you want to grow. If you got some good bag seed, if you got some seeds that you know what they are, whatever it is, I recommend everybody to just start right there. All right, because once you go into like organic soils and stuff, um, a lot of times you have to mess around with amendments and dealing with other things. And but for me personally, just trying to grow in like an urban landscape and everything, the hardest thing for me growing is sunlight, right? Because like I said, I'm in the middle of a city. I don't have like a big old backyard or anything. So for me, sunlight and trying to grow organically with organic mediums, uh stressing with nutrients and stuff. It's not foolproof. And if it was daytime, I would show y'all. I have a couple plants I'm experimenting with on my patio garden. They're just like danky, they're derpy little. It's not anything. I'm not trying to get a harvest or anything. I was experimenting with some different methods and soils and nutrients and stuff. But I could show you a plant, one plant that is completely organic with no nutrients added or anything, just organic soil that has like bat guano and shit in it and water versus another plant that germinated the same day that has salt nutrients in it. And the plant next to it with salt nutrients is like 4 times the size and growth. And so, but obviously you want to move away from salt nutrients, but moving away from salt nutrients requires a lot more work and studying and all that. So, but it doesn't have to be like that though. I'm against salt nutrients for commercial growing. If you are trying to just grow your own CBD flower, you're trying to grow your own weed or whatever. Some people will look down on you. There is nothing wrong with getting a bag of Miracle Grow and throwing that shit in a pot or a Dixie cup or a bucket and putting some seeds in there or clones or whatever and letting it grow. All right. Um, Neil said, "Are you still ripping the Primary Jane carts?" Yes, I love Primary Jane carts. They are what I like to do if I'm not combusting. If I need a vape, I'm using a Primary Jane cart. In fact, Primary Jane just released and is in the process of releasing a whole new lineup of CBD carts, concentrates, as well as THCA carts and concentrates. And when I get back from Oregon, I will be filming content on those new Primary Jane products. Identity in Christ said, what hits harder, type 2 or CBD concentrates? Type 2. CBD concentrates at face value are very weak, just as far as a buzz. I'm not saying that they're weak, like they don't do anything because they have a very high concentration of CBD. CBD, though, is non psychoactive by itself. So with CBD concentrates, you are getting a skewed ratio of a ton of CBD and a very little amount of THC. And CBD blocks CB receptors from THC. So when you have more CBD than THC, you are blocking out the effects of the THC. So once you deal with CBD concentrates and you're dealing with something that has like 2% THC and like 70% CBD, which is what a lot of most CBD concentrates have, you're going to get less effects than just smoking CBD flower, because smoking CBD flower might have like a 15-to-1 ratio or a 20-to-1 ratio of CBD to THC, whereas concentrates will have like a 30-to-1 ratio. So type 2 flower, a lot of people think of CBD concentrates and they think that they're going to get more effects because it's a concentrate. It doesn't work the same way as type 1 concentrates. Um, with type 1, with THC, the more THC you're consuming, the more of an effect you're getting. With CBD, the more CBD you consume, generally, the less of an effect that you're going to get because it's psychoactive. And when you smoke type 3 flower, right? If I spark up a joint of this right now, the buzz and the effects that I feel is not from the CBD. The effects that I feel is from the microdose of THC that is in the flower that kind of synergizes with the CBD a little bit to create this nice little entourage effect. But without the microdose of THC in this, you wouldn't feel anything, right? So Pokezar said you grow your own CBD. No, no, no. I can't say that at all. No. I have some CBD plants, like I said. I have some hemp plants. I'm experimenting with just some bag seeds. I was trying to test out some LST, trying to see if I could make like some little bonsai plants, some little spiral LST plants or whatever, but battling with the nutrients and everything, trying to do all 100% organic outdoors without having a, earth to plant these things in. I'm trying to go all organic outdoors in pots is extremely, it's, I'm not gonna say it's extremely hard, but it's difficult. It's much more difficult than doing it in actual ground or indoors or just doing salts. Banana, orange, you like a good sativa or a nice high THC. All right, so nice, big, fluffy. Okay, but if you have any experience with these kind of, it's high in terpene. I wonder. I've been trying to think if I could get anybody else to try and sponsor the trip, but my channel's just too small. If you have any experience with these kind of orangey, fruity, again, kind of jacket. So if any of y'all here are patrons on Patreon, I greatly appreciate you. Um, Health Hunter Farms. What's up, Health Hunter Farms? Are you actual farm? You commercial grower? Said I'm growing CBD relief from Paradise Seeds as a side chick. side chick right now. Week 3 and already glazed leaves. Let's see. Let me look that up real quick. You said it's Paradise CBD relief Paradise seeds. Never heard of it. CBD Relief is a 70/30 indica hybrid offering up to 20% CBD with minimal THC. I wonder what the lineage is. CBD Relief was developed through Paradise Seeds by combining stable, high-performance strains from the Paradise genetic library with a potent CBD-rich cultivar. The smell is dominated by limonene, sweet citrus aromas, orange and lemon. Okay, so it sounds like it's like a sound like it's kind of a Oregon CBD esque strain, not gassy or skunky, but just a real like hazy type of a thing. That's cool. Let me know how that turns out. Oldham ENT said, "Great videos, fam. I enjoy your reviews. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the kind words." Health Hunter said, "No, just a one man show, basement and outdoor grow in EU. You have an Instagram for your grow? If you do, follow me on Instagram and I will go check out pictures of your grow. I would love to see how I would love to see how your plants are turning out." If you have any experience with these kind of orangey, fruity, again, kind of Jack Hare, kind of orangey, fruity, again, kind of Jack Hare. Shout out to the Europeans too. Shout out to all the Canadians. Shout out to the Europeans that are watching. I know outside of the U.S., I have probably a little chunk of Canadians, a little chunk of British people. I got a couple French viewers, I think. Okay. I mean, that's like with tangerine or mandarin, something like that. And again, we have absolute massive amounts for a 3.5. All right, that's your 3.5 right there. Dallas, Texas. Here, shout out to Baz. Oh, Arsenal. Okay, Arsenal. You should have said that earlier. Shout out to you, Arsenal. It's been a while since we talked. Arsenal's a longtime supporter of the channel. Shout out to Arsenal. I didn't know that was you. Hope you're doing good, Arsenal. Dante said, "Have you tried THCV? CBD edibles get me really OD stuck high. I DPDR for like 2 weeks, even with high CBD. I've heard THCV feels like coffee. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, THCV is basically like, I mean, do you say THCV? Any of the Varin variants of cannabinoids, so CBDV, THCV, um, are kind of what I would describe as like the a pure sativa version. So it's more clear-headed, more energetic. Um, it sounds like you get a lot of head fog from cannabinoids. So I would definitely try out a Varin. Also, I would definitely try out CBG. I say CBG is probably the most clear-headed you can get effects wise from a cannabinoid, but CBDV or THCV is also up there with that. So I've yes, to answer your question, yes, and I would recommend you try CBG as well. Check out my merch on it. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Next video. Do all of y'all watching, do you have your post notifications turned on for when I post videos? Because I feel like a lot of people don't. I feel like a lot of people don't have their post notifications turned on. Um, my analytics are kind of like crazy looking for my subscribers and everything.
All right, so the buds do get a little bit squished.
What time is it? It's already 11 o'clock. So that means what? It's 2 a.m. if you're watching from the East Coast. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. If it's that time and you're watching old Shabazz on the YouTubes, is anybody watching from the West Coast?
To flour, and this says according to like, okay. I know some of y'all probably wondering how come I hit out of the
Let me know. Let me know.
low, much more modern of a
And again, what the title of the video says,
yeah, sorry.
if there's anything you would like me to make an effort to see or ask when I'm out in Oregon, let me know. I try to get everything covered, but if there's like a consensus of something that I'm not doing or could do better, let me know. Let me go ahead and render this.
A lot here on the channel. So I'm really curious. What's up, YouTube? So well, all right. So nice big. All right, let's see how the candy punch is tasting on the breakdown. I had a real nice fruity gas. All right.
All right, let me go ahead and render this. Identity and crisis. Is there any medical evidence that CBD helps people with opiate withdrawal? Yes, there is. I believe that there is evidence, like research-based evidence that CBD and cannabis, not just CBD, but cannabis in general helps with withdrawals and addictions of all kinds, but especially alcohol, cannabinoids, and uh, uh, benzos. Benzos. So all of all of the depressants, I think it really helps with. But honestly, it works. It works for everything. It works for everything because I don't know if any of y'all have ever known meth heads, but a lot of meth heads, they carry around a lot of different drugs with them, right? I don't want to say a lot because there's a lot of meth heads that also carry around opiates with them. They'll carry around fentanyl, blues, or they carry around some straight up heroin, or vice versa. There's heroin addicts or fentanyl addicts that carry meth basically to combat the effects, right? Because one is an upper, one is a downer. Um, but there are upper addicts like meth addicts that also enjoy using cannabis when they're high on meth because the cannabis brings them down a notch and they're not tweaking so hard. Um, Aside from that, though, just talking about the withdrawals from the addiction, I don't think there needs to be any sort of research done to prove that it helps with the withdrawals because there's already proof that cannabis
helps with all of the symptoms of withdrawal. Um, a lot of the symptoms of withdrawal are the same symptoms that people who are getting treatment for cancer have. Okay, so um, just everything, right? We're talking seizures, um, nausea, vomiting, um, all of that, right? You're getting extremely sick. You're getting extremely sick. Your body is in shock. And so obviously cannabinoids, both THC, both cannabis, mixes of everything help with all of those symptoms. Um, but as far as just making the withdrawal itself be more mild, yeah, I'm pretty sure that there is um some sort of like fact-based research that says, in fact, there is, I forgot in what state, maybe it's Washington. Um, I watched a documentary on a withdrawal center where drug addicts, I'm not sure if it's opiate addicts or it's any kind of addicts, but drug addicts go. It's like it's a rehab, but it's specifically a detox rehab where the goal is to kind of cold turkey stop people anyways, but the whole therapy that they use is cannabis. And so yeah. And so they take drug addicts that want to stop cold turkey, and these people go stay at this place. It's like this centered cabin thing on a lake, and they're searched when they go in. It's the real deal. All their bags are searched. Their strip searched. They can't have no drugs or anything, and they go through withdrawal. They quit cold turkey, but the entire time, part of what they pay for is that they are given cannabis 24 hours a day. Like they're just there passing around bongs and joints 24 hours a day. These people are um, quitting drugs cold turkey by just ripping blunts, bongs, joints. They're doing dabs. I think it's on YouTube. You go on, I gotta pee. If you go on YouTube, look that up. I don't remember the name of it or whatever, but if you look up like drug withdrawal slash rehab cannabis center, um, there's a hold on, y'all. All right, but yeah, cannabis can some people say cannabis is not a miracle drug, and I refute that statement. Both because I don't think that cannabis is a drug, even if it's abused, which it can be abused, still not a drug because you can abuse it. You could smoke an ounce of weed every day for 20 years and stop. You have no sort of physical dependency on it whatsoever. Um, and I do think that it is miraculous. I do think that cannabis has um, healing and therapeutic qualities that very little other things have. There's some evidence that cannabis in the right conditions and doses and everything can cause cancer to go into remission. So All right, Arsenal say he's gonna go to bed. You know what? I was actually I was gonna end the live here pretty soon. And I think this is a good place to do it. I'm up cleaning. Let me show y'all my fish really quick since I talked about it earlier. Let me see. Let me flip this around. Trying to clean the glass. But this is my little community of fish I got going. Um it's just like kind of nano species. Um we got some Coryadora, Cory catfish, and we got the Halloween decorations in there for Halloween right now. Like I said, I've said before, this is a very Halloween household. I love Halloween. My favorite time of year is fall, Halloween. So everything is decorated Halloween in my house, including the fish. But we got some corridors, we got some Daniels, we got some tetras. What are these called? Neon tetras. Got some neon tetras right there. Um, and then we got a lot of guppies. Those are all baby guppies right there. And then their moms and their dad are down there. I don't know why they're hiding. Um, but yeah, in the past, oh yeah, you see that they are back there. In the past, I've had lots of different fish tanks with different species, and I always had aggressive species. So I always had cichlids, pacus, angelfish, Congo tetras, large plecos, other catfish species, crawfish, freshwater eels, basically just all things that eat other things that are smaller than them. And this is my first tank that I went kind of just 100% all peaceful. So there's that. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get off. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all y'all. Go follow me on Instagram. Remember to check out that Andaway. That Andaway is a screaming value. It's a screaming deal. A screaming deal. You're gonna be hard pressed to find some indoor CBD flower like that for that price. Let them know that Shabazz sent you. I think I'm gonna have a video. I think I'm gonna have a THCA video that's gonna go up tomorrow morning. So check that out if you care about THCA. For those of y'all, look, for those of y'all who don't like THCA or you're THC sensitive, whatever, um, I'm not converting my channel to, a THCA channel. I've said before, I'm doing that because I was doing more damage than good by completely rejecting THCA. And now by mixing it in with the CBD, I can kind of try to foster the same kind of transparency and standards that I've helped build with the hemp world. So, um, yeah, check that out. Hope y'all have a good Sunday. Um, hope everybody's teams win tomorrow besides the Colts. All right. I'm a lifelong Rams fan. All right. So if you're an Indiana Colts fan, I'm praying for your demise tomorrow. Yeah, everybody have a good Sunday. Barbecue, do some yard work, whatever it is that you got to do. All right. I probably the next time I will do a live like this, I'll probably be in Oregon next week or this week coming up. So love all of you. Have a great night. All right. I'll catch you when I catch you. Peace.